Yo, yo, get up, nah I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Well, hello and welcome to Coffee with Tracks, your go-to spot for Chicago sports talk and year-round Bears coverage. Today we're diving deep diving into some major coaching updates. Could the Las Vegas Raiders be a serious threat to the Bears? Top target Ben Johnson? And is it Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman about to step into the NFL? Plus, the first big domino of this coaching cycle has fallen. We'll break down what that means for Chicago. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for the latest updates from Coffee with Tracks. Now grab your coffee and let's dive in. The first segment we want to talk about is Big Johnson and the Raiders' threat. So let's talk about Ben Johnson. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reports that the Las Vegas Raiders are making a strong push for Johnson and the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. And here's where things get interesting. Johnson's reportedly has some serious interest in that job, folks. Now, why would the Raiders appeal to him? 2 words, Tom Brady. With Brady rumored to have influence on the Raiders' operations, including their pursuit of a head coach, it's a big pitch. Imagine Mark Davis calling Johnson. That's one thing. But Tom Brady, that changes the game. But let's break it down logically. The Raiders' roster isn't in great shape at all. No clear path to a top-tier quarterback, a division stacked with elite competition, and draft capital that's not exactly ideal. Meanwhile, the Bears can offer Caleb Williams, a young star who just needs the right coach to succeed. The Bears still seem like the better long-term fit for Johnson, but here's the catch. The Raiders might allow him to choose his own general manager. That's power the Bears can't offer with Ryan Poles still in place. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Shy for Bears, LV for Raiders. Where does Ben Johnson land? Here's our next segment. Marcus Freeman's NFL potential. The head coach who just led Notre Dame to the national championship is Marcus Freeman. There are multiple reports that the Bears are interested in interviewing Freeman. Here's what I love about him. Freeman is a dynamic leader, a motivator, and someone who has clearly outcoached elite teams despite dealing with major injuries. He's got that CEO vibe, kind of like a young Mike Tomlin. But here's a concern. 0 NFL coaching experience. He's never been a coordinator or even a position coach in the league. Transitioning from college to the NFL is tough. Just look at guys like Urban Meyer who struggled to adjust. That said, Freeman is a name to watch, but I'm not sure the Bears are in a position to take that risk right now. What do you guys think? On a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat, please leave your comments below. How interested are you in Marcus Freeman coaching the Bears? Drop it in the comments. Now, let's talk about the first coaching domino. I know you guys are bummed about it. I'm bummed about it. I really wanted this guy. The first big coaching domino has fallen. Mike Vrabel to the New England Patriots. The worst kept secret in the NFL, but everybody knew about. The Bears reportedly didn't get an in-person interview with him. But honestly, it probably wouldn't have mattered. Vrabel was locked up in for New England from the moment that job opened up. So what does this mean for the Bears? It narrows the field. With Vrabel off the board, Ben Johnson becomes a clear top candidate. But if they miss on Johnson, we're looking on their second or third choice, guys. And don't forget to watch Cowboys and Steelers situations. If Mike McCarthy or Mike Tomlin shake loose, things can get wild fast. So with our coaching search, here's my questions for you guys. I got 5 questions for you guys. Drop it. You guys put it in the chat, and we'll talk about it, okay? First part is with tracks. having coffee with tracks. I'm going to give out all the information and, not leading the witness. And then I'm going to drop 5 questions for you guys. And then, 5 at 5. And then after that, we're going to hear back from you guys. That's where you guys take over. Okay. So, coaching search. Who do you think is the best fit for the Bears head coach position? Let me know in the comments. Ben Johnson, Marcus Freeman, someone else. Quarterback development. Do you believe the Bears should stick with Caleb Williams, like whole development plan, getting an offensive line, continuing to build pieces, or take care of the defense, special teams, and all that, and maybe help out a little bit with the offensive line? Or do you think he has enough already? You think he already has enough pieces to grow? Okay, here's our GM question. Here's our GM situation. If you had the choice, would you keep Ryan Poles as GM or bring in someone new alongside a fresh coaching staff? I mean, especially if you could get Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson says, hey, I'm not coming unless you get rid of Poles, I want to bring in Agnew, I want to bring in my own GM. I mean, and that's got to be the situation. Would you do it, or are you standing pat with Poles? Here's my fourth question. Player to watch. Which current Bears player are you most excited to see grow next season? Which Chicago Bear player are you most interested to see grow next season? And here is the fifth question for you guys. Bold prediction. What's your bold prediction for the Bears next season? Playoffs, standout players, or even record-breaking moves? Let's hear them. Your bold prediction for the Bears next season. Is it the playoffs? Maybe you could give us some standout players that you think are going to really look good next year, or even record-breaking moves. Let's hear them. Make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you guys comment. And if you're new to the show, subscribe. Stay tuned for more coaching updates and coverage, okay? But right now, let's get into the questions. What's up, guys? Good morning. All right, look at all of this. Bradley says, bear down. Breaking news, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, James. Man, oh man. Leroy. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Spielman could be Johnson's GM. What's up, James? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining the show. Gerard, Bears will never recover. Always be a mid team. I don't know about that. That's a little conjecture. It's hard to listen. If we had a crystal ball and, if ifs were an if, we'd all have a fifth. But seriously, yeah, it's an unfinished product. How do you know? Appreciate your comment, though, buddy. James, I say with two, Brad, because Freeman is going to sign an extension with the University of Notre Dame. What up? Breaking news, Bruce says Ron Rivera maybe. James Childress says bring in a new one because Poles blew it for not shoring up the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's something really to look at. I mean, a lot of people are upset with the trenches, and I understand, rightfully so. I mean, the guy played in the NFL as a coach. I mean, as an offensive line, as an offensive lineman. So you think that he would definitely be looking at that. You know what I mean? And it's funny because we bring this up early and often about Pat the Designer, my buddy, who we've done shows with, good dude from ESPN and also Windy City Breeze. And he went off on one of his rants and he said, quit hiring and signing offensive linemen that play like you did, like these reclamation projects, these diamonds in the rough, like trying to be the smartest guy in the room saying, I know, talent, or I know how to view talent and all this and that. I mean, maybe you don't, bud. Maybe you really don't. Maybe, you got lucky with Darnell Wright. I don't know. The jury's still out. You get a five years, so let's give him a chance. But like I said, would you be interested in if Ben Johnson says, I have to have my own GM? I mean, that's a bold statement for any brand new coach that's coming into the league, for him to say. I've not that it hasn't been said before, but to my knowledge, it doesn't happen much. So interesting. Interesting. I'm looking for guys like Cole Kmet to stand out, and I would like to see our linebackers progress a little bit more if we can shore up that defensive line. I think if we shore up our defensive line, the linebackers and the defensive backs are going to eat. And also, if we shore up our offensive line, the running backs and the receivers and the tight ends, they're all going to do better. And Caleb will do better too. So that's where my bold prediction is. If we shore up the offense and defensive line, the team as a whole will do much better. Good morning, Leonidas. I really hope you came in with a better attitude this morning. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Have a great Monday morning, pal. It's a little cold outside. It's a lot more chilly this morning. I got, it's 18 degrees. I just went out and grabbed me a Monster. Leonidas says, if we can't get Ben Johnson, I'm not opposed to Kingsbury for Caleb's sake. He had Cardinals be a playoff team before injuries. That's an interesting take, Leonidas, and I appreciate your take because that's absolutely true. I think sometimes these coaches, and like we said before, they don't get enough time. They don't get enough opportunity. I know the ownership of Arizona is in the dumps. I've talked to Doug Plank before several times, and he says that they're the worst. They're not that good. And he was up against that. He was against power struggles. He was against the chance of being able to go ahead and keep his his spot. He wasn't there long. But like you said, playoffs, right? And when your star quarterback goes down, and we saw the stats with him being, rookie of the year. Caleb has the same stats. I don't know why they didn't give it to him. I do. This is a great rookie quarterback class. So very hard, Caleb has better structure, better coaching, better line. Again, if ifs were a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So yeah, man, it's just I could see what you're saying about Kingsbury, and I'm not mad at it. I just see that there's better options out there, Leonidas. I hope it doesn't get to that. I don't think that's your first choice either. If I remember correctly, listening to you and everything in the chats, it doesn't seem like that would be your first choice. All right, so Super Bear, what's up, buddy? Welcome back, man. How you doing? There's some fine options, but I'm starting to feel like it's Ben Johnson or bust, in his opinion. A lot of people are feeling that way, man, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would say that it's definitely, he's definitely the first round pick of the quarterback coaching search. Definitely the first round pick. Ben Johnson is head above everybody else for sure. Absolutely. I understand that, buddy. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. What do you guys think about Pete Carroll? What about the in the building interview with Ron Rivera? How about that? That was pretty cool. What do you guys think? Who else is available out there now that Vrabel's off the board and Ben Johnson's potentially being courted by the Raiders? I mean, now he's getting right back into this week. I don't think there can be any. Was it just the weekend that they could do the virtual interviews? I'm not sure if they could do any this week because I think he's got to prepare for a playoff game now. You know what I mean? The bye week's over. So, well, today, right, is the last day probably because they still got a game. So this is actually the end of the week, I would say, maybe today. I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's all weird. Uh, yeah, if ifs and or buts were candies or nuts, we'd have a party. Yeah, let's have a party. Let's have a little soiree there, James. So, yeah, let's get back into the questions, man. We're looking at some questions here. Uh, which current Bears player are you most excited to see grow next season? If I had to pick one, mm, if I had to pick one, Javon Dexter. I'd like to see what happens with him. If we could get some interior D linemen and possibly, I'd say, I see. Here's the deal. I like two interior defensive linemen, and I'd like one more edge rusher. But I want one that's going to be pretty decent, at least a C or a B grade, something like that. And I know Sweat doesn't look elite right now, but I think if he had more help, he could definitely look elite for sure. He's definitely got the physicality, he's got the size, everything. Um, so we'll see what happens. I think he's got a lot of eyes on him. It's probably I mean, when you look at it, getting double teamed and all that, that's pretty tough. So hard to see what he could be. I think he needs some help. For me, it's Javon. But that's on the defensive side. So I'm going to call one for each side. So Javon Dexter on the offensive side. I don't. Maybe if they keep Braxton at left tackle, I know I don't want that. I would really like them to go get a better left tackle. I don't like how he anchors. I see some issues with with the way that he sets himself up, his hands. He's got a lot of technique issues. But I mean, honestly, I think if they found and put a really good guard next to him, that would help him, get better. Now, if Tevin stays and they give him an incentive based contract where, he logs and stays there and he stays at left guard and he stays healthy throughout the year, I think that'll help Braxton out a lot. And getting a veteran center in there or a blue chip center in the draft, that would help. I mean, basically, I would like three guys. I would like three guys from the line, and they would be starters. Like I really want to see three guys compete to come in, and not to say that all three will start, but I would definitely like one that would be starter worthy. So that way you could push guys into playing better because I think that's part of the problem right now is like the talent pool is pretty weak, so you don't really have to go all in and sometimes you need a little bit extra, and I think that's important. So I'd like to see some O line and D line, but yeah, I think maybe Braxton if they keep him. If not, I'd just like to see Darnell Wright grow for sure. Um, so somebody says I think, yeah, that's all right. I am available. Coach was available. If any available, I'd go with Rivera or Kingsbury since Vrabel is off the table. Okay. All right. There's a solid take for sure. Um, so, what about the GM situation? Are you guys good with polls? You good with polls, or what do you think about that whole situation? The whole Ben Johnson, I want my own GM thing. You think that's a real deal, or if that's just conjecture? Conjecture, like there's a lot of conjecture going on. A lot of people saying, I think, I feel, but there's no facts. So I don't know. But if it was a true thing, would you guys be okay with those type of demands coming right out as a first year coach or any coach coming in and just saying I can't work with polls? I think like polls, like when you're in that line of work, when you're a GM, when you're a coach, I think he's a likable guy, right? And talking to him, he probably sounds pretty smart in person. So I think it'd be pretty hard to when you finally because it'd be a sit down, right? So maybe seeing him and having him in front of you is a lot different than being a keyboard warrior and just blowing him up. Like I really think, when you get in front of them, it changes a lot of things. When you get in front of somebody's face, when you stand in front of a guy like me that's 6'6", it's a little bit different than being on a keyboard. Same thing with Poles. Poles was a lineman once. You know what I mean? Changes things. I mean, you got to be so. I don't know, man. I've thought about this, and it's just kind of like a new guy pushing his weight around. It doesn't work too well. Like you just got to come in, you just got to get some time in, and you can't be the loudest guy in the room. You just got to take your time with it. So and let your work speak for itself. That's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. Um, and all respect to everybody that's already been there, that's had their time. So I don't think Ben coming in there and pushing his weight around and being like a force and be like, hey, listen, I'm the guy that everybody wants, kind of like a prima donna type. I don't even know if that's Ben. I don't know a whole lot about him. Just that he has a badass freaking offense. That scored a lot of points for Detroit. That's the thing I know about him the most. James says I have a hunch that Johnson might end up somewhere else. Yeah, we're all kind of like doing what James is doing, just hunching. Um, for sure. Super Bears, they would be fine. Um, if he's truly interested in the job, he knows Poles was a possible match. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think does he want his guys to come with him? Absolutely. I'm sure he wants like whoever he can come with him. And probably a little bit of loyalty too is like, hey, I need help. I need to bring some guys if they want and the Bears could pay them, but I'm not going to deplete the guy who I owe a lot to. He owes a lot to his head coach, you know what I mean, and Dan. So I don't think he's gonna leave him like that. I don't think he's gonna do that. Leonidas says, I'm okay with an incoming coach making demands because if he was to get fired, I want to make sure it's because of his decision, not someone else's meddling. Yeah, yeah, no, I can see that, Leonidas. I could see the same thing for a GM who, potentially his job is on the line if he hires a head coach that has issues, right? I mean, like you've got to look at it on both sides of it too. They've got to definitely work together. Leonidas, make a good point though. McCarthy is a strong no because it would be like getting drama from Dallas and Green Bay. Flores was trying to get a lawsuit against the NFL when Miami let him go. Uh, yeah, so that's a whole lot of drama for that whole conversation there that James is having. Um, I don't know. I don't know if Dallas was worried about McCarthy coming over and what all of that James was just talking about was. I know the guy has what 10, 11 playoff wins. He's got a good win loss record. Super Bowl, all that good stuff. So I don't know, man. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of his because why would you be? He beat us up so darn much. How could you like a guy that beat us up so much? There's the other side of it too. Is now that you have him, let's go return the favor and go kick the Packers. But but how much better would it be to kick the Packers' butt without their former, head coach? So, yeah, I could see every angle of all that, but not going to waste a whole lot of energy on McCarthy. I'm not even sure that McCarthy would be a serious candidate. I think if we were that far down the line, I almost am willing to try to look at a guy like Brady, you know, or another coordinator, which I'm really not trying to get a coordinator right now. The only outlier that I see, the two outliers, is one on offense and defense, and they're both from the Lions. So that's it for me right now. I'm trying to get somebody that already has head coaching experience. So Yep. You too. Have a good day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we got for the questions. What do you guys think about? I got one more question. What about Marcus Freeman? What do you guys think about the Marcus Freeman show? Like, do you think that that could seriously be a situation? Like, he gets 9 million a year, right? So I think even with a lucrative pay raise, if he goes ahead and beats Ohio State and wins the national championship, I mean, how much money per year would that foster? 3, 4 million extra. You can't just get paid double and go right up to 18. But you look at Ben Johnson, and he's wanting at least 15 million minimum. I mean, the Bears could match that with Marcus if they want. Return him back to Chicago Bears. They drafted him back in the day, So, bring him back to Chicago. He's a local legend with Notre Dame and all of that. And there's some connections there. And, you definitely need to be in the talks and consideration. You at least get an interview. I mean, seriously, think about it. You won a national championship. If he wins a national championship, or even if he doesn't, if he stays in the game and it's a close game, and Ohio State squeaks it out for all the injuries and everything that this guy has dealt with, he's definitely coached up this team for sure, man. He's put him in a really good situation. I think he deserves an interview. I mean, look at all the other candidates that have they're interviewing and stuff. You know, the guy from Arizona, all these other guys, really, they're, Marcus should be in there. And tell me why he shouldn't. And as long as you throw money at it, listen, all these guys want to be NFL coaches. They don't want to stay in college forever. Marcus was a Chicago Bear. Why wouldn't he get a look? You could pay him double. What's, 18 million. If they're saying money's not an option in Chicago, which they already have, why wouldn't you take a look at him? Okay. So if you're getting 15, 16 million for Ben, yeah, Marcus has never took a snap in the NFL for a coaching position, much even less a coordinator, but he should get, could get a look at for an interview for sure. Let them, hash it out, see what happens. That's my take on Marcus. Um, you know, I know some Notre Dame fans aren't going to be too happy about that, but at that point, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for sure. Uh, what up, Plank? Plank's in the building. He's getting around for work. What up, buddy? Bear down. Yeah. So, what do you think about Freeman, dude? You think he deserves an interview, Plank? Who else is out there for a coaching spot that you guys are interested in? Make sure you drop your comments, your thoughts in the comments below. So, all right, Plank, everybody, you guys have a good day. Appreciate you guys. And Plank says, "Leave no stone unturned." Yeah, why not? I mean, you're already doing it. Do it well. Be very thorough about it. I definitely could see them, bringing him in and bringing some others in. I don't think. Listen, I don't think that this list is over, but somebody said earlier in the chats, like, you better hurry up and pull the pin, and try to make something out of this. You got to bring some guys in for some in-person interviews. Don't just do these virtuals. Bring some people in. The guys that are not playing, the guys that are not coaching, I mean, bring them in for an in-person. Listen, there's no other greater way. And don't put them in coach. Put them in first class. Get them to the building, bring them in the building, give them all of it. Give them the full 5-star treatment, guys. What up, Black Rain? How you doing, buddy? Hope you have a great Monday. Thank God it's Monday, bro. Have a great week. Have a great week, man. This is your week. You're going to kick some butt, guys. You're going to kick some butt. Just like the freaking Philadelphia Eagles kicked the Packers' butt. How about that? Are you guys excited about that? I mean, that had been a good feeling. I know I was excited about it. I love it when the Packers lose. It's great. So good. You guys watching the game tonight? Who's watching the game tonight? I got to watch it, man. I'm excited for it. I mean, on one side, I hope that the Rams, can pull it out. Kind of got like that Katrina feel, like the people really need it for the devastation and those wildfires and everything that's going on, man. It's horrific. I couldn't even imagine. Oh my God. But, on the other side, man, the Vikings, they're not even supposed to be there. Seriously. Like they're the most likable team in the NFL right now. They're not even supposed to be there. They're freaking starting quarterback, a rookie goes out, all the injuries, everything, all the changes, man. They are not supposed to be there. They're definitely not supposed to be 14-3. You know, it's crazy. So it's going to be a good game. I'm definitely going to check it out for sure. NFC North is still in it, so why not? Still got two left. One loss last night. They only had one more game than the Bears. All of that for just one more game. Not saying I wouldn't mind if we had one more game, but yeah. So, oh, the pleasantries. I love it. Plank and Black Rain connecting. This is great, man. That's what I love about this community. Plank said he'll be watching. What do you got? What do you guys do for work out there? You guys let me know in the comments. What does everybody do for work? I'd love to know what you guys do for work, unless it's like some, G5 classified, stuff. I, I know you guys can't share that, but if it's, something you could share, let us know. You don't have to give us the location, the address, the phone number, you know, just let us know what you do for work, man. I work at a steel mill throughout the day. So, but yeah, James says Philly sent Green Bay home crying in their cheese. That's funny. That's hilarious. Um, yeah, leave in the chat. Make sure you guys circle back when I close this out for the live chat. Make sure you guys circle back and go into YouTube for me. Leave some comments and some likes. Appreciate it. Let's keep Coffee with Tracks going, man. Plank was the one that created this monster. He said tracks after dark. Then I thought about coffee with tracks because I'm amped up. I like my caffeine in the morning. I like to get going. The military, I blame the military. They've ruined my sleep. They ruined sleep for me. I don't even know what it's like to get good sleep. I think like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm up every morning. So now I gotta juggle this with the gym and going into work and stuff. But man, it is cold out. Watch this. See that? See my own breath in the garage, guys. Plank says he's in the RV business. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Super Bear's in the auto industry. He's working right now. Shout out to the auto industry, man. We make steel. We need each other, man. That's awesome. James says he washes and details farm equipment. When I'm not in the wash bay, I clean the shop and help the technicians, mechanics. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really cool, James. That's a cool job for sure. Bear down. Love that. Bear down. Everybody that everybody that let me know what they do for work, I'm putting in a star, gold star for you guys, man. I appreciate that. We're pinning it. Pin it to win it, man. So, all right, guys. You guys have a great, thanks God it's Monday. You have a good Monday, man. Be great today. Um, keep fighting like Mongo with everything you got, man, okay? Let's win, man. Let's be great. This is another week of 2025. Some of us might have already broke some of our New Year's resolutions, but hey, guess what? Let's get back on track with tracks. It's still the beginning of a new quarter, baby. a new year. We're 1-0. The Bears are 1-0, and you're 1-0 too because you're a fan of the Bears. We're 1-0 against Green Bay. We're 1-0 in Lambeau. We're 1-0 for 2025. Let's get back on track, baby. The Bears got back on track at the very last minute, and sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So, as we finish right now, I just want to say that's it for today's Coffee with Tracks. Don't forget, we'll be back later on tonight. We got the posse coming in, a big group for Monday night, Monsters of the Madhouse. You know, like I said, hit the comments with your takes on Ben Johnson, Marcus Freeman, and the Bears coaching search. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a beat. Until next time, stay caffeinated and bear down.